everyone. You're welcome to today's podcast. This is the Leadership Legacy Podcast. And my name is Buki, and I'm sure we are going to have a fantastic time here. Right here with me is my co-host, Ify.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's podcast. My name is Ify Morino-Kafo.
Yes. Okay, today we have this powerful guest in our midst who is going to discuss extensively with us. Now, just to give a brief introduction about her, we have Ellen Pratt in our midst. She's the executive director of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center. She sits at the intersection of leadership, gender, and governance on the African continent. And she's an ambitious woman. She has done so much. And being the leader at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center for Women and Development, which is a home to the ambitious African Women's House project and the powerful hashtag Gap Zero movement, designed to close the gender gap in public leadership. Ellen has over 25 years experience in government, urban planning, and development, from managing multi-million-dollar municipal projects in the United States to shaping national policy in Liberia. She's an architect by training, a planner by profession, and a leader by design, literally and figuratively. Ellen, welcome.
Thank you, Buki.
You're welcome, Ellen. So,
Thank you.
I'm especially glad and delighted, as well as honored, to be welcoming Ellen to the podcast, because Amuja Leadership, or Amuja Leaders, is a program under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center, and right now is in over 24 African countries, and its purpose is right in alignment with our vision, encouraging, pushing women to the highest echelons of leadership across the continent. So as an Amuja leader myself, I'm especially honored to have her on this podcast.
Yes.
And I'll start the first question around legacy, building systems that last leaders. We know we have that challenge on the continent, and EJS has taken the forefront in building leaders. You have built cities, you have built you shape policy, and now you're building a generation of women leaders, and it's amazing. But how have you stayed constant to that path? What is your why? And how have you stayed true to your why all through these seasons of your leadership?
Thank you for the question. If it's a pleasure to be here, and that's a question, the why. I think the why is so multifaceted, and it goes back a little bit. Born and raised in Liberia, had to leave because of the Civil War. So the first why was, why are we always having to leave our homes for conflict reasons? It took me 16 years to step foot back in Liberia, and another 21 to move back, to repatriate. And again, the why was there because I believe it is time for Africans to be in Africa, the talented Africans to be in Africa, if we intend to change the trajectory of where our continent is going. So my why has always been simple. I want to live in a Liberia that I remembered as a child, and one that I want my son and his children to live in or have the opportunity to always come back to. And my leadership journey has always been that. From planning cities, the idea was to plan cities in the US, get the experience, and go and plan cities in Liberia and on the continent. So it's always been going back home. Women's empowerment, even more so. The first time I returned back home was for Madam's first inauguration. And there was not a prouder moment to be a young African woman. And so looking at that, I'm like, if she is here, The future is ours. The future is ours. So the next iteration of the leadership journey was how to prepare myself to be an African leader, and now sitting in this seat, how to support other very dynamic African women leaders. We share the same vision. We want to see a better Africa for Africans.
I'm literally having goose pimples.
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Wow, that's so great. Now, at the EJS Center, right, you have great initiatives and all that you've been doing to support women. Now, Ify and I, we are advocates for women, as in gender advocates. So right now, we know that you have the initiative of the African Women's House, right, which is in the horizon. So what kind of leadership do you think Africa needs, in the next decade, in the nearest future, in this our next 10 years, and what kind of courage will women need to be able to be part of that leadership and even take the forefront of that leadership?
So, in the next 10 years or more, and even the next 5 years, tomorrow, Africa needs inclusive governance. We'll start there. And intentional inclusivity, which means women are not playing token roles, token positions. It's not tokenism that we need. We need direct inclusion for many reasons. One, the continent is over 50% women. I know Nigeria is over 50, Liberia is over 50%. So just on the numbers, let's look at just the numbers. We should be included at the percentage that we are on the continent. Secondly, the data is there. It's proven when women lead, things change. Because besides being the mother, the nurturer, women come into leadership with an empathy, right? We come into leadership with a totality of purpose. We're thinking about our children. We're thinking about our communities. Communities thrive when women lead. Education is better when women lead. We've seen the data, it's proven. So now women themselves need to believe in the strength of themselves as women and in their fellow women. So this next generation of women need courage. They need courage, they need humility to lead. I think one of the key drivers for good governance is you need to be humble sometimes. And you need to be courageous. And you need to have grit and tenacity, because it's not going to be easy. None of us can sit here and say this journey that we've come to has been a walk in the park. It's not been easy. It will not get easier. You just have to get stronger and more tenacious.
Wow. That's huge. And stronger and more tenacious. And that's with what we see in our societies. Many of the young ladies coming up, they are somewhat fragile, right? And it's maybe over pampering or whatever that we have done to them, because they are our children, that we've done to them is affecting them. But as we move on, we want you to share about the African Women House, because it's the day that I read about it, it's been intriguing. So we really want to know, what is it about? What will its impact be on women, and even does it cascade to anything, to the young lady on the street and all? Please just explain.
Thank you. So the African Women's House, her name is actually Musieja, which in the Vai language of Liberia means women's hut. This is designed as a convening space for women, a place where, for the world's first presidential center built for and by a woman president in the world. And Madam Sirleaf is building this for the African women. That's why it's intentionally called the African Women's House. So it is the project that the EJS Center calls our North Star. It is the physical campus that will house the presidential library, museum, exhibition spaces, meeting and conferencing facilities, and of course our administrative offices. But it is a place where you will come and learn about the legacy of women leaders, starting with Madam's legacy and then highlighting the journey of African women leaders. We also see it as a place where we can convene and converge. There are a few places that we go to on the continent. None of them are purposely built for women. And across all of our women leaders, one thing that's very common is we need a place where we can come together. We need a safe space where women can come and dialogue and talk, and that is what Musieja is designed to do. So you will learn about the powerful women that came before you. So even when you're thinking, I can't do this, when you hear the stories of some of our leaders, you will know that it's possible. And that is what Musieja is. It is the heartbeat of the work that we're doing, because now it becomes physical, it becomes real, when you can sit and see and touch everything that we've been discussing for the last 5 years.
Amazing. You know, the word Musieja, listeners, audience, remember that word, Musieja. And it brings me to the legacy of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first female president, elected female president on the continent. Incidentally, she turned 87 yesterday. Wow. So we wish Madam a very happy birthday. And as the curator of her legacy, her vision, I want you to reflect in just one moment and tell us, if Madam was sitting here right now, what would she be saying to the women, the young persons across the continent on leadership, on public sector service, on the courage and the humility that you spoke about?
So my name is Ellen, but I'm not Ellen Johnson. So I think Madam would say that we still have a long way to go. And that means we cannot be comfortable with what we see now. Madam was the first democratically elected female president on the continent. It took 20 years to get the second democratically female elected president. African women do not have another 20 years to wait. We are thankful for the female presidents that were recognized during that time. But 20 years to the next one where they went to the polls and voted, it's too long. So she will say that we cannot get tired yet. She will say that to women, don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. There are others who've done it, but know that it will be a lot of work. And if you're willing to put the work in, it is possible. She will say that when she started this journey, and it's been from the 60s, the 70s, same with Madam Nandi, their journey started a long time ago. So it's not instantaneous. 20, 30 years of being in the struggle and in the fight before they got to where they are. So it's not going to be right away. So put the time in, put the work in. But the other difference is when they started, there was not the Musieja or the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Center or the legacy leadership to support women. So we now have some of those platforms and those networks. So it will be a little easier because now you have a sisterhood that can support you on this journey.
Yes, great.
And I'm truly privileged to be part of that sisterhood. And I encourage women to aspire to the highest levels of leadership. Like you said, we have all that it takes to build this continent. And we thank you very much for coming to share these words of wisdom, encouragement, and I'm inspired to keep pushing for higher levels of leadership, even here in my country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the
My
show.
sisters for the opportunity to share this. Thank you so much.
And we can see the passion in you, the way you were saying it. And so thank you so much. We really appreciate this. And we trust that everyone has learned again. You know, if you are a he for she watching this, I hope you are encouraging your sisters and everyone around you, every lady around you. This is our time. We are It's our time.
It is our time.
So thank you. It's been a fantastic time with you. We just want you maybe in like 30 seconds to just say your strong words to the women, to Africa as a whole.
Women, it is our time to demand inclusion, to be intentional about leadership, and to bring a sister and another woman with you.
So thank you so much. That was a strong one.
Yes, it's time.
It's a call to action for all of us. Yes. Call to action. We have to get up. We have to ensure we do stuff. And to all the young ladies out there, impossible is nothing, right? So we need to get to work. So thank you. We've had a great time here today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for a great conversation. And we look forward to the African House. We want to be there. Yes, to actually be a part of it. Yes, thank you.
In a very short while.
Yes.
We'll cut the tape. We'll cut the ribbon.